Good afternoon, everyone. Today's Thursday, April 6, 2020, and we're here for a town board meeting. As always, we will begin with the pledge. And Tim, can you please take the lead?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And in keeping with our tradition of having a faith-based invocation, today we have with us a friend of Riverhead, Reverend Jerry Halpin from the North Shore Christian Church. Thank you, Reverend, for joining us, and good to see you.
Thank you very much. If you would join me in prayer, no matter where you are, whether you're seated or standing, that would be great. Let's pray together. God, we come before you today and we ask for your wisdom, your guidance, your patience, and your understanding. Your guidance and your wisdom for the decisions that are about to be made, for the words that are to be spoken, your patience and understanding when we fail. Help us to fail forward, not only as individuals, but as a town. Most importantly, God, bring us to unity. Unity as neighbors and individuals with those that are not only common to us, but different. And also, Lord, unity with those that quite simply we don't like. Help us to put ourselves aside and to think of others first. Think of our town, think of each other, and more importantly, Lord, during this unique and demanding time upon each of us emotionally, spiritually, and physically, help us to think of one another. Help us to think of what is best. And God, may we bring each and every one of those things to you every day. God, we ask that you continue to walk beside our leaders and each and every servant that serves this town, both paid and volunteer. Guide them and direct them and give them graciousness and guidance each day. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend.
Thank you, Reverend.
Thank you, Frank, and thank you, Reverend. Before we get started, we have a couple of brief announcements. The distribution of the COVID-19 vaccine is ongoing, and as of today, all New Yorkers aged 16 and older are now eligible. I am very proud that after multiple successful vaccination events coordinated by my office and the senior center, some 1,500 residents have received their vaccination here in Riverhead. Those who still wish to be vaccinated may do so by calling our senior liaison, Jim Wooten, at 631-727-3200, extension 653, to pre-register. Shortly thereafter, those residents will receive a call from Sun River Health Services with an appointment to receive their vaccination. In addition, residents may also call the New York State Vaccination Hotline at 1-833-697-4829. As a reminder, please remain vigilant and follow the 3 W's: wear your mask, wash your hands, and watch your distance. Remember that COVID-19 testing sites remain open and available throughout the entire Riverhead. Detailed locations are located on our town website. And as most of you know by now, while we remain under the governor's state of emergency due to the COVID-19 pandemic, all public participation in town meetings and public hearings will be accomplished via Zoom only. Accordingly, the public may watch and participate in today's meetings through watching on Channel 22, logging onto the town's website, and using the Zoom credentials that are also posted on the town website. Okay, this concludes our announcement. We'll now move on to a very special presentation in honor of a dear friend of this town board and a personal friend of mine, along with being a Riverhead icon, Ziggy Walensky. Ziggy's beloved family are here with us today, his wife Wanda, his children Michelle and Mark, and his grandchildren Adam and Austin. They are here today to celebrate his life and all the lives that he has touched. And we would like them to come forward now, his immediate family, including Rita.
Can I say a
Yeah,
couple
I
of words?
have a few more. I'm gonna
Okay.
give them the sign and then, if you don't mind.
Yep.
Okay.
Gather right over by the blanket, they'll see you.
Which one's Austin? I have an Austin. That's you? No?
Ziggy's recent passing leaves a huge a hole in our heart and the heart of the entire Polish community. As a testament to his lifetime of his support and his countless contributions to Polish Hall, on behalf of the entire board, we are proud to announce the renaming of portion of Marcy Street in front of Polish Hall to Ziggy's Way. I am sure that the town board has shown support in this regard, and Ken, can you start the process in renaming the street as
Absolutely,
Ziggy's
I'll
Way?
work hard for you, yes. Thank you, it'd be an honor.
You want to take the sign?
Absolutely.
And right behind you, you have a blanket that was made in his honor. So when you feel sad, you can hug the blanket and know his picture's near you. Well, the process to make this an official postal designation is forthcoming. We thought this would be the most fitting tribute, and one Ziggy would be very, very proud of. In addition, it is an honor to present to Wanda a proclamation today. I will ask Councilman Ken Rothwell to read the first component and give you the proclamation, Ken.
Thank you very much. Honoring Ziggy Walensky in memoriam, whereas it's both fitting and proper, the supervisor and the entire town board join with the citizens of the town of Riverhead in honoring the memory of the former Riverhead postmaster, former president and manager of the Riverhead Polish Hall, the United States Army and Vietnam War veteran, public servant, and pillar of the community, who was passionate in his pursuit of community engagement through his beloved Polish Hall and in attending Riverhead sports and events. Therefore, along with the supervisor and together with the entire town board and the citizens of the town of Riverhead, we honor and thank Ziggy Walensky for his dedication and unwavering support of the town of Riverhead. I urge all citizens to sustain public awareness and preserve the memory of this reverend member of our community.
Thank you, and we'll invite the board to make comments.
Frank, I'll let you start.
Yeah, I just want to say, I always enjoyed seeing Ziggy. He always had a smile. He drew me down to the Polish Hall with his huge personality, and I feel like a better person having met him and walked on this earth with him. So I will miss him, and God bless the family.
Very well said, Frank. I think all of us are in agreement with that Ziggy was an icon for sure down at the Polish Hall and in Polish Town. He was such a genuine and caring person. He loved what he did. He loved the steak nights. He loved the events at the Polish Hall. Every time you saw him, he had a smile on his face, and he always had welcoming arms, and for that, we will be forever grateful for Ziggy.
I'm grateful my kids,
Go ahead.
my kids got to meet Ziggy for the first time, and he was always honoring all of the Eagle Scouts, and so through the Boy Scouts and so forth, and encouraged them to continue, and it just expressed how proud he was of all the kids, and he was just a remarkable man, and so together we mourn with you. Just a great, gracious man in the way he guided all our kids and the youth in the community, and just to guide the way. So thank you for giving a gift of him to all of us. Thank you.
So I do want to thank you on behalf of the people of Riverhead for sharing your husband, your dad, and your grandpa with us in Riverhead. We did all love him, and I'm very pleased that we're able to honor him in this way with Ziggy's Way. And I like that you wore your Polish Hall red. Okay. Do we want to do a picture?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Maybe they want to hold the sign.
I'll stand on the side.
You guys want to hold the sign? What do you think? It's not heavy, you got it? Yeah, good work.
I'm going to adjust the camera so that we get the whole family on TV here for a moment.
Okay.
Okay.
smile behind the masks.
Beautiful fact.
Yeah, we're going to, you have to go through some legal process.
Okay.
And your attorneys, you have to let people know, who's ever lives in the street.
What is it from Pulaski to 25?
Yes.
Okay, so that
Yes.
section will be.
It's just a small, I think it affects only like 3 businesses.
Yes.
Yeah, so we have to go
Be
through
a nice
it
tribute, though.
and then you'll come for the unveiling.
Yeah.
We'll make the date that's mutual. Okay? Good.
Thank you.
And thank you, Ken, for working on this sign for us.
Look forward to the unveiling. As a postmaster, he wants us to follow the right path to get it all done.
No doubt about it.
I like that tan and blue. Very Hampton-ish.
You gotta give up your laptop for the whole meeting, or?
No.
Okay. Godspeed to the family and thank you, everyone. Next, we are joined today by 2 students from Pulaski Street School, Ella Caparos and Christian Van de Wettering. And I'll ask them to please come forward, and congratulations to Ella and Christian. My colleagues and I are very pleased and are recognizing your outstanding achievement in receiving the New York State Attorney General's prestigious CCC award. And we present to each of you these certificates of recognition. And Catherine, you have some words to add?
Yes. Aren't your parents coming up?
Oh.
All right. Let me turn this over to
Helping them fly.
Oh, move over that way. Oh, the other
Towards
way.
me, please. Yeah,
Okay.
there you go.
So today we have with us 2 students from Pulaski Street Elementary School who have received the CCC Award from New York State Attorney General Letitia James. The CCC Award recognizes students who have demonstrated courage, character, and commitment in their everyday lives. In any given year, this would be an honor to be celebrated, but the circumstances of the past year have taken this achievement to an even greater level. These 2 students have demonstrated how courageous and resilient they are by persevering despite the difficult challenges of being a student during the pandemic. Our honorees today, Ella Caparos and Christian Van de Wettering, are extraordinary young people. They were nominated because they are excellent students, eager to learn and always prepared. I'd like to read a few comments from one of their teachers, Michelle Bauman. She wrote, "Ella has exceeded academically and spreads joy to all those who encounter her. I'm amazed at how she exudes positivity every day. Christian is an outstanding student of great character who is always aware of the feelings of those around him. He astounds us with his encyclopedia of knowledge on many topics. The CCC highlights students who exemplify courage, character, and commitment, and Ella and Christian demonstrate all 3 of these characteristics. Each of us on the town board congratulate you, and we look forward to seeing the positive impact you will have in the future of Riverhead and beyond."
I want to say congratulations to Ella and Christian. This past year has been extremely difficult and very challenging for all our students in the Riverhead School District. Yet through perseverance and determination you prevail and regularly exemplified your courage here. Your character and your commitment in your everyday life, in your home, in your school has obviously shown through. You are our role models for other students, and no doubt you're destined to accomplish many great things as you for the remainder of your time at the Pulaski School and then into high school. And we look forward to hearing about your future accomplishments, and please do stay in touch. Thank you.
You want to invite the parents up for a photograph?
Yes.
I do want to add that I was privileged to have Ella in my second grade class. I was also one of her teachers. I think that was my last class, too. All right, so we're going to do a
Okay,
picture.
we're gonna do photos.
We know that the parents get a lot of credit.
Uh-huh.
I saw you guys during the night.
Yes.
Am I not blocking anyone, right?
Well, it says Kurt and I look like brothers anyway.
Oh, you're not cousins?
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Great.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
So much.
Congratulations to both of you.
And now we're just gonna hold meetings and all that, so you don't have to stay, you know, and do a lot of stuff is, unless you want to stay, you're more than welcome.
It's not always that exciting. Thank you guys for coming in today.
Congratulations again, yep.
Now you're on TV.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll
Good to start off a meeting like that, right?
Do that every time, and we'll be good.
Wanda,
Happy days.
Wanda, we'll get you the blanket. We'll get you the blanket, we'll deliver it to you. Okay.
See you, Tom.
Be safe.
Take care, Tom. Bye-bye.
Okay, everyone, thank you, and moving forward with the meeting agenda. We do not have the transcripts for the town board meeting for March 16th and the special town board meeting for March 29th. There is a backlog between us and the transcription service. They will be available, and when they do become available, we will present them. I'm going to ask Diane to read any communications or any reports that she may have. Diane, can you please come forward?
Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Under correspondence, we had a letter from Christopher Kent of Farrell and Fritz, and he had comments on the special permit application of Crown Castle. There was a letter from the Riverhead Chamber of Commerce, and that letter was in support of the Long Island Science Center. Also, a letter from Carl Bodden and Donna Bodragi, and that was in opposition to the proposed special permit application of Crown Castle. That's all for correspondence. Under reports, the building department submitted their March monthly report, and that was $104,511. The tax receiver had several reports, but I'll just read the last one, and that was dated March 31st, and that was total tax collection to date as of March 31st, $92,006,916.22. Town clerk March monthly report was $9,816.76. And there was also the Town of Riverhead 2019 audited financial statements that were submitted to my office. And that is all I have.
Okay,
Thank you, Diane.
thank you. We do not have any scheduled public hearings today. However, before we get into public comments, I would like to invite our Deputy Town Attorney, Anne Marie Prudenti, to review today's resolution number 40, which is in today's packet. There seems to be some misunderstanding and some assertions made in the last meeting, and we need to clear this up. And I'm going to ask you to come forward. Anne Marie, can you please come forward? Good afternoon.
I think it's 39.
Yeah, number 40, but 239, yes.
It's 2:39 now?
239 is the number, but in the order, it's 40, yes.
Okay.
The order,
So-
it changed.
Okay.
With respect to Resolution 239, first and foremost, I want to say I support the town attorney and his recommendation for this resolution. But I do feel it's appropriate for me to provide some background information and clarification as to how we got to the point where we are. And because I know the town board has and is often required to field questions, and you can't know all and be all, especially in this instance, when proceedings actually began before any single member of this town board was on the town board. You know, so really, you can't know the totality or be expected to have a clear knowledge of that. So I'm just going to run through it, and my goal is to tie it together. So back on December 21st of 2010, I have the minutes of the town board meeting, and I have the resolution. The town board appointed the law firm of Smith, Finkelstein, and Lumberg to commence an action against the New York State DEC related to Part 182 regulations. The Part 182 is an incidental take permit regarding endangered species. That lawsuit and those regulations had a definitive impact on the EBCAL property, and the town board members are probably very likely aware it was at the cusp and the beginning of the then town board undertaking a reuse and revitalization plan for the EBCAL property. Just months later, VHB was hired, survey expert, marketing analysis, and some of you participated later in that process. So a lawsuit was in fact commenced, and it pending in Albany County before Justice Ferrara. Numerous times there's been settlement discussions, and that lawsuit has been pending with the goal that settlement would be achieved between the parties. The town would receive the requisite permits in order to divide the property and then sell, not who to sell to, but the ability to then sell those lots. Thereafter, town board will recall, and I have a copy of the agenda, on January 14th of 2021, that matter, the matter with respect to Town of Riverhead versus New York State DEC appeared on the agenda. 4 attorneys actually were present and discussed the matter with you. That discussion, to the best of my recollection, because I was present, lasted approximately 1 hour. We went through all the aspects, all the issues, particularly the Wild Scenic Recreational Rivers permit and the New York State DEC demand that either Town of Riverhead consents to Suffolk County Water Authority being the purveyor of potable water to the site, and/or the Town of Riverhead request and receive Suffolk County Water Authority's withdrawal of their objection. At that time, and hopefully being respectful of the town board and attorney-client privilege, but with the necessity to provide an explanation to you, I will state that during that executive session, the town board was very clear with its direction to all the attorneys that were present. Those directions were authorizing the commencement of legal action against the New York State DEC regarding the Wild Scenic Recreational Rivers permit, and in particular the issue with respect to Riverhead Water District's right to provide water to the EBCAL property. But what the town board also did is the town board requested that prior to the initiation of any lawsuit, that the town send a letter to Suffolk County Water Authority to withdraw their objection to Riverhead Water District being the provider of potable water to the site. That letter actually did go out on January 19th, 2021, and is also posted on the town's website. Thereafter, on January 29th of 2021, Suffolk County Water Authority sent a letter and copied all of the town board members refusing to withdraw its objection and its demand that it be declared the provider of water to the property. Thereafter, on February 12th of 2021, the Assistant Attorney General, who's representing the New York State DEC in the Part 182, sent a letter to the judge in Albany County informing him that settlement negotiations have failed and that the issue regarding the Wild Scenic Recreational Rivers permit and the designation of who is to provide public water to the EBCAL property was in fact involved in that breakdown of negotiations. Just to go back, during that January 14th, 2021, what the town board also requested and discussed was if we were unable to secure withdrawal from Suffolk County Water Authority for its demand, the town board recommended that the proceedings, any proceedings that are brought, be brought and attempt to be made part of the Part 182 regulations. After the February 12th, 2021, your special counsel did in fact communicate with you on February 16th of 2021, providing an email to you together with the correspondence alerting you litigation was commencing. Thereafter, and pursuant to the instruction of the town board, an Article 78 was in fact filed in Albany County, and the matter is pending with Judge James Ferrara, who is the same judge with the Part 82, and it's anticipated that both will appear on the judge's court docket on the same day and travel together. So I provide this information because I truly believe that it's very difficult for a town board who is stepping into the shoes of something that began over a decade ago and to have the ability to field all these questions. But I do want to say I support the town attorney's recommendation for the resolution. Why? Sometimes more is more. I don't know if
Thank you very
anybody
much.
has any question, but
And
also,
these matters were also discussed in executive session.
absolutely,
Constantly, and I think everybody was on board all along the way.
yes.
What happened last week, let's just move forward. Thank you for your legal opinion on it, and we're
And I-
moving forward. And hopefully we're gonna be in court and we're gonna
Sure.
achieve
Yes.
the proper resolution is to keep the Suffolk County Water Authority out of it.
And I want to assure the town board that in anticipation, later, if any of you request, I have copies of the documents and emails and everything I referenced and represented to you today.
So Anne Marie, a couple of things.
Yes.
Since you're bringing this up in a work session and you're apprising and of
Town
course-
board meeting,
What did I say? Oh, I mean a town board.
yes.
Since you're talking about this in a town board meeting and you're apprising us and the public about everything that has transpired, I'm assuming that it's legal that you're allowed to do that. So my point is that I feel like the public had a right to know, and it would have been better to, have apprised them sooner. Since the lawsuit had already commenced, it would have been good to let the public know, the taxpayers know along the way, or at least within the last few weeks, because what's happening is the lawsuit has commenced and then we're voting on the resolution today. So my point is, I just think that this is a major project and it would be good for the taxpayers to be informed. This was good for them to hear.
I can't disagree. I'm just going to comment that it is not typical or usual for the town board, once they authorize the commencement of litigation,
Correct.
to then discuss legal strategy and nuances on cases as it's being litigated.
And I'm
But
not
Bob is-
asking, yeah, and Anne Marie, I'm not asking,
Right.
you know, I understand that, and that no strategies needed to be, but, I mean, you did just talk about what was happening, and I think the public has a right to know, and since we are talking about keeping the public apprised, and we are talking about the subdivision, I also think it would be great if we could get an update on what's happening, at a work session about what's happening at EPCAL, including something from CAT, because we all know from reading in the papers that there are some concerns financially about what's happening with CAT. So that's something, since we are talking about disclosure and updating
Right.
everybody, that's something I would like as well. Thank you.
Okay, so
And I-
I'll just, if I apologize, Supervisor, if I
Go
could
ahead.
just quickly address some of the points. So what I'm trying to demonstrate to this town board, and what our special counsel did, is exactly what was discussed confidentially with the town board in bringing the Article 78. We didn't bring it in Suffolk County. We brought it in Albany County, and we brought it before the same judge as the Part 182 to make it part of the 182. And that was the discussion and representation before you on January 14th of 2021. Next, with respect to CAT, that's the town board's prerogative. If the town board wants to call CAT in, they may. But I will say this, that pursuant to the terms of the contract, prior to closing, this town board, and I know they will, shall hold pursuant to the contract, the language in the contract, this town board will require them to deliver and satisfy any question regarding financial ability to not only purchase the property, but the financial wherewithal to actually meet the development project, and specifically the required build-out within a 5-year period. Pursuant to the terms of the contract, your right is triggered just prior to closing. Off the top of my head, I don't have the contract before me, I want to say 30 days. So while I respect any decision of the town board to bring them in earlier, I'm just advising you that which I know you already know. The contract actually gives you a date to do that. So whether or not their financial wherewithal or their financial ability plummets from today until the contract closing, you will have that opportunity. And I am so confident that there's not a member of this town board that's going to let that go by.
You are correct.
And
So,
I just wanted to add that, yes, the public has been involved, they have been notified, we do have a website, and all the documents that we put forward in EPCAL is available. There is coverage on it, and as far as the board, we have to also understand that there are certain things, from now that it's in litigation, it's not in process, it's not proper, and I know that I have personally, and the board, at one of the meetings, have been instructed by counsel that there are certain things that while things are under litigation, it's not gonna be an exploratory, let's see what's going on, and we have to be careful. I'm ecstatic that both cases were joined together. I don't know how the attorney's office got to that point. It's very unusual in the criminal, in the court system, to have two litigations go before the same judge in Albany. And that, I think, is very advantageous to us. And I don't know how you manage it, or if it was luck, but again, all the documents that we do produce and letters that we send forward, we do have a website. It's the EPCAL folder, there's a link, and you can read all the documents. And as we move forward, we'll keep the public informed.
so just Let me say, Anne Marie, first of all, I appreciate your hard work and diligence on this whole EPCAL deal. I don't know that people know you're one of those unsung heroes who just puts in a tremendous amount of work on this. But I think as a resident, you can also understand that as board members, we want to make sure that our public are informed with, certainly I understand there's information that can't be given out, but there is information that can be given out, and I think that our public deserves to hear from us once in a while and get updates every so often. It has been a long time without an update. So in speaking, for the people, I don't think the people should be kept in the dark, and they shouldn't have to just read things on a website. So if we could just have some updates once in a while, I think the people in the community would appreciate that.
Fair enough. Well said, and I can't disagree with that. Fair enough.
And we will continue, because we have
And-
kept the public
Yeah.
informed, and we will continue to do so. And I'm gonna ask you, Anne Marie, if there's any new development that we can share with the public, please put it up for a public, a work session. I
Absolutely.
appreciate that. doing
Okay.
that. And
That
moving
would be great, and I would appreciate that.
Supervisor, can I just say that, because there's been litigation since 2010, and I'm just came on the board in January, the town attorney's office has been great with me, and I sat down with Bob, I sat down with Anne Marie, and there's an incredible amount of paperwork to review and
Yes.
steps to go over, and they have been great in clarifying the procedural steps and how we got to where we are today. And I greatly appreciate the work that you're doing in the office is phenomenal. And so I think that this resolution today is more about just public awareness, but
Yes.
great work.
And I just
Thank
want to
you.
say, I have a very good boss who didn't want to bother me last Thursday, which I could have addressed this then, but, so he's terrific, and I support his resolution. Again, more is more.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Anne
Thank
Marie.
you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Anne Marie. Now we'll move forward to the public comments on resolutions. Devin, is there anyone in the meeting room?
Yes, Supervisor, we'll go first to Camden Ackerman. While we're waiting for that to connect, we'll just remind everybody in the Zoom room that we're going to need their names and their hamlets, and of course, they'll have 5 minutes in which to make all their comments today. Hi, Camden, can you hear us?
Hi, I can. Can you hear me?
We can, yes, go ahead.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, hey, how are you?
Good. Hi, Town Board. Camden Ackerman. I live in Wading River in the town of Riverhead, but I'm representing East End Disability Associates. I'm just zooming in about Resolution 2021-238. Just thanking the board for taking this back up. I know there's a large chunk of the board that was at our ribbon cutting years ago when the town board awarded us this lease, and some of the newer board members. I hope that you would see some of the work that we do at the Henry Pfeiffer Center, but it has been, oddly enough, through COVID, the need to have this site has been even higher, just because we have to keep some of the people that we serve a little more separated. And we're also starting a new program out of there, which is going to be a kind of daily IDD news channel that some of the guys are going to be doing via Zoom. And I just want to say how grateful we are that you're taking this back up and continuing this lease. So thank you so much.
And let me just say thank you to the great work that you do. I'm really aware of all the fantastic work that you do, and I just loved the day that I got to go out there, and you guys were working on a Broadway review with the group.
He's still there.
Oh,
Yeah, he's still there.
anyway.
Yeah, I want to echo those same sentiments. This is a great organization. Camden does a great job, and I believe this is a wonderful use of town property
Yes.
at the end of the day. So it's a great union, and thank you for your work.
And I'm glad we're able to use that space, especially for such a great use. Thank you.
And Ken, thank you for appearing for us today. I know the hard work that you and Lisa and George, they recently became my next door neighbors, and when we first met them, they were so enthused about the program, and they're moving forward, their lives are moving forward, and anything that you need, we're very, very supportive of the East End Disabilities. Thank you
Absolutely.
so much.
They do great work, absolutely,
Yes.
for what they do. Yep.
Okay, Supervisor, that concludes the comments on resolutions today.
Okay, great. Now, Diane, can you read the resolutions, please?
Certainly. Resolution 200.
Public interest order for the increase and improvement of facilities of the Riverhead Parking District in the town of Riverhead, Suffolk County, New York. So moved.
Okay, somebody second?
Wait,
We skipped over 200, I think.
yeah, 200 is where we're starting.
Yes.
But I
That is-
went by the latest, I went by
Yeah,
the
that is
latest ones that I
200 for me.
got.
Right.
That is 200?
The one, yeah, there was,
We got a
we
later
amended
version.
at some point.
Oh, okay, sorry about that.
Sequence of the first two changes. So
the next
the
Okay.
version should, the public interest order
Right.
is resolution number 1 today,
Yeah,
and then authorizes the issuance is number 2. The order was
Right.
switched.
Okay,
the
sorry.
first and second were just switched.
Second,
Okay.
Vote please.
Rothwell,
Yes.
Bayrock,
yes.
Kent,
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yeah, this is the money that we're gonna bond out, not us, but the parking district is bonding out. It's not the regular taxpayer district here. To do the work needed in all the parking lots in downtown Riverhead, to get them back up to shape, that they're usable, and also to reconfigure First Street parking lot, adding approximately 67 more parking spaces. So that's what this is all about, and this will be paid back by the parking district through their taxes that they collect each year.
And
So,
I think
yes.
That's the next resolution.
I'm sorry?
I think that's actually, the bond is the next resolution, just to let you know.
Yes.
And then to continue, Aguirre,
Yes.
resolution adopted. Resolution 201.
Authorizes the issuance of $725,917 worth of bonds of the town of Riverhead, Suffolk County, New York, to pay the cost of the improvements to the various parking lots of the Riverhead Parking District in the town of Riverhead, Suffolk County, New York. So moved.
Seconded?
Vote please.
Rothwell,
Yes.
Bayrock,
Yes.
Kent.
I have a few comments on this. I looked at this. I was kind of hoping Drew would be here, but he's not. I don't know if Dawn can answer my questions. Certainly, I believe in keeping up infrastructure, and I actually know that Drew's been coming and asking for these improvements for over 10 years. But this is a large amount of money, especially when we will be also bonding for the town square and then at some point for the Justice Court. So, but I do know that First Street, I think, has a grant, so that offsets the cost, correct, Tim?
There is
There's a
grant
grant,
money involved with
right.
this, correct, to help
So there
pay
is
it
grant
off.
money involved.
Yes.
But my concern here is the timing of some of the lots, because I believe that one of the lots is on Baconic Avenue, behind the river. That's one of the lots.
Oh, yeah, that's one of the parking lots of the parking
And the other lot I'm
district.
concerned about, there's a lot over on Roanoke that is going to be used as a staging. It's a gravel lot, and it's going to be used for staging for some construction. So I'm just thinking, timing-wise, if we're getting ready to start all this construction at some point with the town square, and then this other lot on Roanoke Avenue is going to be used as staging for construction, my concern is about timeline. You know, we don't want to be improving a parking lot and then it gets beat up from construction.
Already been dealt with, Catherine.
Okay.
The work that's going to be done is going to start First Street parking lot, because that one's not going to be affected by any of the other construction downtown. And we will finish up with the parking lot behind what hopefully will be the new Science Center and the town square. None of that will be done prior to everything being in place. So we don't want to put new stuff down, have to rip it up and redo it. That's going to be done later, once we know. We're going to
And
start.
that's what, and thank you, that's what I was concerned about,
Right.
but I didn't know if there were some kind of restrictions built in, or I think it would be good if, before they moved forward with expenditures, that they come back to the town board for approval, because the timeline is important on all of these projects.
Correct. And it's been set up that way from day one, because we knew this was going to happen.
So it is set up like that.
Yes.
You
Yeah,
did
there
provide
will-
a timeline. What was first?
there will be no commencement of
Yeah.
any work on the area that's going to be disturbed by the town square or the staging area off of
Right.
Roanoke Avenue by Third Street that you're referring to.
All right, good, thank you. I vote yes.
Okay. And then
Took me a while to get there.
to continue. Hubbard,
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 202.
Water District Test Well Program Project 81851, budget adjustment. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 203.
2019 CDBG COVID CARES Act budget adjustment. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 204.
The publication and posting of a notice to amend the CDBG budget for program year 2019. So moved.
Seconded?
Vote, please.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes, and this is to, it's a budget adjustment so we can, work on the Jamesport Honor Guard and raise the, their beds, and it's gonna be pretty. We found some funds to, enhance that area.
Is this
Yes, I
is this,
definitely vote yes.
was this 204?
Yes.
Yes.
204, yes.
Yeah, we're going on to,
I thought wasn't this
205.
the one where they got the extra money
we're
from
going into two.
COVID to use for the CDBG?
Amending the budget.
Right?
Yes, we're just
To amend the
amending.
budget, and then there are several organizations that get the money.
Mhm.
Several of our food pantries, the Chamber of Commerce, I think. I think that's what this is.
Senior buses,
Right,
I think
the
it's,
senior bus, a bus for Meals on Wheels. I think that's what this was about.
gotcha.
Are we all set?
Yep,
Okay. Resolution adopted. Resolution 205.
yes.
Encumbers 2020 funds for capital projects reserve, so moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 206.
Encumbers funds from 2020 for the sanitation department. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes, for a much-needed vehicle.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 207.
Refund of Cranberry Realty Associates deposit for sidewalk improvements. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes, and this is to enhance the sidewalks on Cranberry Street.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 208.
Town Hall Boiler Replacement Project number 11901, closure. So moved.
Seconded?
Vote, please.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Kent.
I know it's better because we don't hear that loud banging all the time. I vote yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes, definitely.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 209.
Ratifies the appointment of a fire marshal 1. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Kent.
Yes.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 210.
Ratifies the resignation of a Bay Constable. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 211.
Approves leave of absence request. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes, indeed.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 212.
Appoints assessor to the Board of Assessors. So moved.
Seconded?
Vote, please.
Rothwell.
Resounding yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Kent.
Yes.
Hubbard.
Congratulations, Dana. Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 213.
Do we pause just to let them know that the family's here and so congratulate them? I don't know if anybody can see. So. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. 213.
Ratifies the removal of unpaid leave of absence and appoints probationary police officers. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Rothwell.
Yes.
Bayrock.
Yes.
Kent.
And I want to say welcome to Anthony, Nelson, Kevin, Cole, and Travis. I vote yes.
Hubbard,
Yes, good luck. They're in the academy, and Godspeed.
I saw them.
Aguirre,
Yes,
Resolu-
absolutely. We wish them luck in their new careers, and we'll see you in 6 months when you start serving your community.
Keep those
resolution
shoes
adopted.
polished.
Yeah.
Resolution 214,
214, reappoints a seasonal pump out boat operator. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote please.
Rothwell,
Yes.
Bayrock,
Yes.
Kent,
Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes,
Aguirre,
Yes.
resolution adopted. Resolution 215,
Establishes standard workday for an elected official. So moved.
seconded.
Vote please.
Rothwell,
Yes.
Bayrock,
Yes.
Kent,
Is it 24 hours? I vote yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Aguirre,
That will be
Yes.
resolution adopted. Resolution 216,
Appoints members to Landmarks Preservation Commission. So moved.
seconded.
Vote please.
Rothwell,
Yes.
Bayrock,
Welcome aboard, Mr. Petroselli. Yes.
Kent,
And I want to take a moment to thank Cliff Baldwin, who served on the landmarks for quite a while. He did a fantastic job, and I want to thank him for his service to the town of Riverhead. I vote yes.
Hubbard,
The same thing. Cliff Baldwin did a tremendous job for a number of years. We really appreciate it. He's got big shoes to fill, but I think the man that's coming in stands a good chance of filling them. So, yes.
Aguirre,
Yes, Clifford, thank you for all your service here to our town, and Joe Petroselli, I love his vision, and I know you're gonna do a great job, and we look forward to working with you. I vote yes.
resolution adopted. Resolution 217,
Approves a special event, Chapter 255 application for paddle battle. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote please.
Rothwell,
Yes.
Bayrock,
Yes.
Kent,
So we've got quite a few resolutions in today where we're approving applications for events, and I'm very excited about that. I hope and pray we can keep moving forward with our events. I think we're coming around the bend in this rough year we've had. I vote yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Aguirre,
Yes, this is the beginning. Things are looking great. 30% of Suffolk County is now vaccinated, and hopefully by the middle of the summer, all these events will take place. We will be monitoring them in case there are restrictions. But every indicator we have seen is showing that everything is opening up, and that's a really good sign, and we look forward to that. Yes.
resolution adopted. Resolution 218,
Approved special event, Chapter 255, application for LIAPA, Antique Tractor and Truck Show. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote please.
Rothwell,
Yes.
Bayrock,
Yes.
Kent,
I hope David Young's there with some of his tractors. I vote yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Aguirre,
Yes, I look forward to attending.
resolution adopted. Resolution 219,
Approved special event, Chapter 255, application for North Meets South Food and Drink Festival, October 2nd and 3rd, 2021. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote please.
Rothwell,
Yes.
Bayrock,
Yes.
Kent,
Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Aguirre,
Exciting to see this in Riverhead. I understand they're gonna bring in chefs from the North Fork and everybody together, I'm told, and this is great for Riverhead. Absolutely, yes.
resolution adopted. Resolution 220,
Approved special event, Chapter 255 application for Making Strides Against Cancer, Breast Cancer Walk. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote please.
Rothwell,
Yes.
Bayrock,
Yes.
Kent,
This is a very cool event. I'm glad they're able to have it again. Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Aguirre,
Yes.
resolution adopted. Resolution 221,
Approved special event, Chapter 255 application for Halleckville Museum Car Show. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote please.
Rothwell,
Yes.
Bayrock,
Yes.
Kent,
Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Aguirre,
Yes.
resolution adopted. Resolution 222,
Approved special event, Chapter 255, application for Riverhead Country Fair. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote please.
Rothwell,
Yes.
Bayrock,
Yep.
Kent,
Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Aguirre,
Yes, one of the biggest and best events here in Riverhead. Has the highest attendance rate. People come from all over the state, and it's great to see this hopefully flourishing again. Yes.
resolution adopted. Resolution 223,
Amendment fee waiver request for a special event, Chapter 255, Wading River Duck Pond Day. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Rothwell,
Always a fun day, yes.
Bayrock,
Yes.
Kent,
Yes, I love Duck Pond Day. I vote yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes, we'll all be
Resolution-
there.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 224.
Refund request of special event Chapter 255 application fee for Muddy Princess. So moved.
Seconded?
Vote, please.
Rothwell,
Yes.
Bayrock,
Yes.
Kent,
Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 225.
Authorizes the town clerk to publish and post notice of public comment period and authorizes a public hearing for the town of Riverhead draft solid waste management plan. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Rothwell,
Yes.
Bayrock,
Yes.
Kent,
Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 226.
Ratifies the publication and posting of a request for qualifications, RFQ, for a transit-oriented development at the Court Street parking lot. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Rothwell,
Yes.
Bayrock,
Yes.
Kent,
Anxious to get this whole area cleaned up and moving along. I vote yes.
Hubbard,
A big, big yes. And
Aguirre.
thank you, CDA.
Yes, absolutely.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 227.
Authorizes town clerk to publish notice for audit services for Town of Riverhead Community Preservation Fund. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Rothwell,
Yes.
Bayrock,
Yes.
Kent,
Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 228.
Yeah, you're going to give me a second here. Because that was a long one.
You want it?
I got it right here. Authorizes town clerk to publish and post public notice of public hearing to consider a proposed local law for an amendment to Chapter 289 entitled Vehicles, Traffic, and Parking Regulations of the Riverhead Town Code, Chapter 289-21, Parking by Permit. So moved.
Seconded?
Vote, please.
Rothwell,
Yes.
Bayrock,
Yes.
Kent,
So I just think it's really important that we hear from the residents of this area in Wading River. We did have a pretty lengthy discussion about this the other day at work session with the concerns they have on Oak Street and Central Street with people parking on their streets and then walking over to the beach. The people that reached out to us did say they had spoken to some of the people, but I just hope that anyone who lives in that area comes and speaks up at the public hearing so that we make sure that we go with the will of the people. I vote yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 229.
Accepts donation for Litter Day from Riverhead Lowe's. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Rothwell,
Can we make it anti-litter day?
I know it.
But I vote yes.
Bayrock,
Yes.
Kent,
Actually, it's supposed to be Litter Pickup Day. Yes, these are, we've had very generous donations from Riverhead Lowe's and Riverhead Target for our bags and gloves for our Litter Pickup Day, which is on April 17th. I hope everybody can either join us or at least go out in your area and clean up. I vote yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 230.
Accepts donation for Litter Day from Riverhead Target. So moved.
Seconded.
Beth?
Vote, please.
Rothwell,
Yes.
Bayrock,
Yes.
Kent.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 232.
Authorizes supervisor to execute agreement with Riverhead Lacrosse Club, Inc. for referee, umpire services for Town of Riverhead Police Athletic League, girls grades K through 8 and boys grades K through 3, lacrosse program for 2021 calendar year. So moved.
And that's actually 231.
Yeah, that's 231.
I'm sorry.
Diane, just wanted to mention that.
Yep, that's my, my problem there. Okay. So did we have a second on that?
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Rothwell,
Yes.
Bayrock,
Yes.
Kent,
Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 232.
Authorizes the chief of police to execute an affiliation agreement with Utica College. So moved.
Seconded?
Vote, please.
Rothwell,
Yes.
Bayrock,
Yes.
Kent,
I just wanted the chief to talk 1 minute about this, if you don't mind. I think these are internships, which are a really cool thing. I did speak with the chief about it this morning. You were telling me that we actually do internships with other colleges as well, and I just thought maybe you could give a few sentences and let the community know what this is about.
Did you want to finish the vote?
Yes, I'd like to finish the
Yeah,
vote.
sorry.
No, that's
Sorry
okay.
about that.
That's
We can add
okay.
to that.
Sorry, chief.
If we want to add anything, we usually do it before or after. It
Okay.
shouldn't disturb
All
the
right.
flow.
All right, I understand.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay.
I
so-
vote yes.
Okay, Hubbard,
Yes.
Aguirre,
Yes.
Okay,
resolution adopted. Now,
now, sorry about that. False alarm.
Good afternoon. I'm happy to report that we do have internship programs at the police department for people in college that are majoring in criminal justice or a related field of study. It's a 150-hour program that they have to do at the police department. It usually occurs over the summer, but we have done other times during the year, like winter break and stuff like that. Currently, we're working with we've always worked with Suffolk Community College, but now Utica's being added to the list, and we're also trying to get an agreement with New Haven up in Connecticut University, so hopefully that'll come through. The only down thing about it, it's no pay. So you do 150 hours with us, and there's no pay involved.
But it looks great on your resume.
And it looks great on your resume, and also we've had two success stories. We've had two people go through the program and then become officers for us later on.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, chief. You're going to supervise them, right?
He's got a teacher.
Got it?
He's got a teacher in the family.
okay.
Okay, continue on, Diane, please.
Okay, so now we're up to resolution 233.
Yeah, that's correct.
Authorizes the supervisor to execute an agreement for a bike share program in the town of Riverhead with the county of Suffolk and pedal share program. So moved.
Second.
Vote, please.
Rothwell,
Glad to finally bring this to fruition, so I vote yes.
Bayrock,
Yes.
Kent,
I think this is fantastic. I vote yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Aguirre,
Councilman Rothwell, I'm going to vote yes, your first official legislative action.
Thank you very much.
Can you get him a copy of the adopted resolution?
oh, certainly,
It's his
absolutely.
first official
Okay.
legislation.
Thank you.
And that resolution is adopted. Resolution 234.
Approves construction staging license agreement with Asplin Construction in connection with National Grid gas main upgrade project. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Rothwell,
Yes.
Bayrock,
Yes.
Kent,
I did look at this. I see that they're using one of our lots over by court parking, but it's only for 3 months. I vote yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Aguirre,
Yes.
resolution adopted. Resolution 235.
Ratifies the authorization of the supervisor to execute a license agreement with Arrows Cultured Oyster Company to allow the installation of floating upweller system, FLUPSI, in East Creek. So moved.
Seconded?
Vote, please.
Rothwell,
Yes.
Bayrock,
Yes, Karen Ravar of Eros Cultured Oyster Company is a good friend. She does a wonderful job, and her oysters are outstanding. Yes.
they?
Yes.
It's a great area to do them. For some reason, the oysters that have come out of that area have been so plump and juicy and really good stuff.
Stop it. You're making me hungry.
I know.
Kent,
Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Aguirre,
Yes.
resolution adopted. Resolution 236.
Authorizes the supervisor to execute a sixth amended agreement authorizing the town to accept funds from Suffolk County Office for the Aging for the purpose of supplementing the town's nutrition program for the elderly. So moved.
Seconded?
Vote, please.
Rothwell,
Yes.
Bayrock,
Yes.
Kent,
Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Aguirre,
Yes, this was one program that they didn't reduce. The county didn't reduce. In fact, they raised our funds for our seniors, and that's great to hear. Yes.
Feed our seniors.
resolution adopted. Resolution 237.
Authorizes agreement with FC Watson Land Surveyor, PC, for surveying services in connection with Safe Routes to School. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Rothwell,
Yes.
Bayrock,
Yes.
Kent,
I feel like we're in the home stretch of this. I vote yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Aguirre,
Yes.
resolution adopted. Resolution 238.
authorizes the supervisor to execute a license agreement with East End Disability Associates, Inc. for property located in River Road, Calverton, and known as the Harry Pfeiffer Community Center. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Rothwell,
Yes.
Bayrock,
Yes, thank you again to Camden and Lisa for their great work over there, yes.
Kent,
Yes, this is a great program and a good use of this space. I vote yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 239.
Appoints the law firm of Smith, Finkelstein, Lundberg, Isler, and Yakubowski LLP as special counsel in commencing a court challenge to the actions by the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation under the Wild, Scenic, and Recreational Rivers Act, and authorizes the supervisor to execute a retainer agreement non-proton. So moved.
Can I have a second?
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Rothwell,
Yes.
Bayrock,
Yes.
Kent,
I already made all my comments on this. I vote yes.
Hubbard,
Emery, could you explain all this again to us? No. I vote yes.
Aguirre.
Anne Marie, thank you for your professionalism and putting it in a very clear fashion where everyone could understand. And yes, absolutely, I vote yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 240.
Who wants
have
to,
it, but I'll read
It's
it.
241,
Assumes
is it
lead
not?
agency and issues.
241 we're
It's
going
me.
to.
that's
Here we go.
okay.
Assumes lead agency and issues negative declaration pursuant to SECRA for the site plan application of Bar's Drug Store, second story addition, 32 East Main Street, Riverhead, New York, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 600-128-6. So moved.
Seconded? Vote,
Dash
please.
57.3.
Rothwell,
Say it again?
Rothwell,
Yes.
Bayrock,
Yes.
Kent,
As long as it's not Roman numerals, right, Tim?
You got that right.
Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 241.
Appoints the law firm of Campolo, Middleton, and McCormick LLP as special counsel in the legal action against the town of Riverhead commenced by Teresa A. Dempsey. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Rothwell,
Yes.
Bayrock,
Yes.
Kent,
Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 242.
Pay bills. So moved.
Seconded.
Vote, please.
Rothwell,
Yes.
Bayrock,
Yes.
Kent,
Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Aguirre.
Yes.
Resolution adopted.
Thank you, Diane. This concludes our resolutions for today, and at this point, we will open it up to public comments. Devin, is there anyone on Zoom for public comments?
Yes.
Great. Please move on forward.
Supervisor will bring up Phil Barbado. A reminder to everybody in the room that they'll need to state their name and their hamlet for the transcriptionist, and that they'll have 5 minutes to make all their comments today.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
We can hear you.
Okay, I'm on my telephone, so I don't have.
Oh, there you
There
go.
you are. Now we can see
Wow.
you.
Good
Okay.
afternoon, Phil.
Amazing. Thank you all for taking my comments. Just a couple things. With regard to the poor, like 60 some odd homes in the Calverton area who are on private wells and they've been contaminated with PFAS, I just wanted to point out that there is a Superfund site on the old Navy property at EPCAL that is still being investigated by the state DEC. And in particular, there was a site that was called the Fire Rescue Training Area. It was an 11-acre training area site. And that's the kind of chemicals that they used that contained the PFAS. So you might want to contact the state and ask them what's up with that. Have they traced the plume? Has it reached those homes? Is it going to reach those homes? And so on. And that might help our case trying to get the Navy to fund providing public water to those unfortunate residents in that area. Then the other thing, real quickly, the suit against the state DEC, asking them to approve Riverhead as the water supplier for EPCAL in regard to the subdivision application. I just wanted to point out that that's only one relatively small part of their notice of incomplete application. They're also looking for a comprehensive habitat protection plan. They pointed out seeker consistency analysis problems, such as a reuse and revitalization plan map, a map showing the proposed subdivision and delineating acres that are in protected areas, and a map of the potential development, full build-out. They also need to know what further information for seeker consistency analysis, and they list, for instance, the habitat protection plan. So we're a long way from approving that subdivision, and I think honestly it's about time that we say, let's get out of this contract. We certainly can. It was almost a year ago we had the ability to terminate that contract and get on with the business of the town, maybe go back to the original 50 sublot division, that's 50 lot subdivision, and start offering relatively smaller lots to people from our own community who can operate businesses there, instead of relying on this multinational corporation that seems to be having tremendous financial difficulties. So I urge you to look at that, and the suit against the state is not going to get us anywhere as far as improving that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Phil.
Thank you, Phil.
Just to touch on some of the things that, one of the things that Phil mentioned was the things that were being, or needed to be addressed with the DEC. I will say that we have addressed many of those things and/or are in the process of addressing them now. So it's not like that's a new list of things that came out. This is something that has been worked on very hard by Anne Marie and our council, outside council, and they are addressing those issues. So it's not like this is anything new.
And in addition, on numerous occasions, in the presence of council, we were told if we do not pursue having the Suffolk County Water Authority remove themselves or making claim, that their application would not be approved. And that was the #1 condition, and it was stated to us by the Deputy Commissioner of the DEC. And so that is our biggest hurdle, and I will not give up the water, our water district, at all, ever.
And I think regardless, if there ever was a change in buyer, we still need to pursue to get this release from the DEC. So we're still making progress regardless of the final purchaser.
But Phil, just to let you know, I did request an update on this issue. So hopefully we'll get an update on the near future and some information out there into our community. Thank you.
Well, again, everything is sent forward to the community, and our town attorney will be briefing us on updates. At the current moment, it's within the courts, and whatever we can have and we can release, we absolutely will. We're gonna keep charging and try to have the Suffolk County Water Authority rescind their claim to taking over EPCOM. Okay, moving forward, do we have anyone else?
We do. So next, we'll bring up Mike Foley.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mike.
Good afternoon, Mike Foley, Reeves Park, and I'm speaking today on behalf of the board of South Park Heights, the civic association that represents our community. And I have 4 issues involving the master plan. Let's start off with Jefferson. I know that you and the board were expecting the AKRF survey to go online on the town website last week, and it did not happen. And I'd like to know if you have a new time frame when you'd be expecting it. The second thing is that I and other civics were very pleasantly surprised when you announced Sid Bale's appointment to the Central Advisory Council. I want you to know that our many civic associations have worked with Sid for years. We've always found him to be a stand-up guy, and we're all confident that anything that we bring to Sid will be brought to the CAC. We all value his time, and we're going to do our best to keep our issues short and worthy of consideration. Tim, as an aside, I think having Sid available to kind of complement your role as an interaction with the CAC. Hopefully, will deload you as well. I certainly, myself, speaking for myself, I've never had any problem reaching out to you. You've always been very prompt in getting back to me, Tim, and certainly I appreciate that. But I just wanted to bring that up, that it's a great addition to the Central Advisory Council, which brings me to the lack of an environmental expert on the Central Advisory Council now. I think it's really critical that not only do we have an environmental expert, but we have one that is a resident of the town of Riverhead. I know we have a number of very good, very effective environmental groups. The issue I see with them is that they really deal with island-wide issues, which certainly include us, but are not exclusive to us. And I think we do have a handful of very competent, very qualified, very active environmental experts that live right here in our town. And if you're looking for any help on finding them, I believe some of you know them. I'm not going to speak for anybody because we haven't reached out to any individual. Hopefully one that you find worthy of getting on the board would accept your invitation. I'm hopeful that that will be the case. But in any event, and board, I certainly hope that you will add one more person to the Central Advisory Council, and that would be an environmental expert. As far as the Central Advisory Council meetings are concerned, I think it's important that you guys have the ability to advertise when you're meeting. So that briefly before, and I think, Vivek, you might have mentioned considering having monthly meetings. I might be wrong on that, but that's what I thought you had mentioned a number of meetings ago. Certainly, in my mind, that would be plenty of meetings if this is going to go 18 months. Maybe you could do it every 2 months and be just as effective. I'll leave that up to you. But certainly, knowing when those meetings are scheduled, we could get information that we feel is important to be discussed by the Central Advisory Council to Sid and to Tim and hopefully to an environmentalist to bring up on the agenda for the ongoing Central Advisory Council meetings going for the master plan. And finally, the AKRF contract is something that I just saw and spent about 2 hours looking at that 26-page contract that was signed right around New Year's of 2020. Yvette, it was actually signed by your predecessor, I guess just very shortly before you took control. We need to amend that contract. I'll just mention very quickly that there were time-sensitive performance issues in consideration of AKRF's $675,000 payment. There was supposed to be 10 town official meetings completed by May the 1st of 2020. There was supposed to be 20 community stakeholder meetings completed by May the 31st,
You have 30
2020.
seconds left, Mr. Foley, 30 seconds.
Yeah, there was supposed to be Yvette, I'd appreciate getting an extra 2 minutes of your time so I could finish my statement. Thank you. There was a summary of issues and opportunities that was supposed to be completed by October the 31st of 2020. The agreement right now is scheduled to terminate on August the 1st, 2021. And clearly, we haven't come close to any of that stuff. And as you're aware, there is a force majeure clause 15, that allows an epidemic to reset and amend the contract. So I would just like to close by asking what, if any, consideration have you done to that? And I look forward to any answers or comments that the board has in regards to my other issues. Thanks for the additional time.
Anybody?
Mike, just a couple of things on what you said. I actually was looking at that. I saw that we have missed a lot of the marks. Obviously, we know why on the master plan update. But I would ask, Anne Marie, we could amend the contract, couldn't we?
We most certainly could, and I believe, I'm going to probably say the initials wrong, AKRF would probably be willing to do an amended schedule. We all know we were delayed as a result of COVID. I'm confident that sitting down with Councilman Hubbard and Jeff if the town board wanted, we could come up with a new revised schedule, you know, to meet the goals and put those benchmarks back in place.
And I think that was discussed with myself and Jeff. He is working on an amendment and he'll put it forward. Of course, a lot of contracts, including, you know, when we issued the special permits, we all had to adjust. We had to move things around, and they're gonna work with us, and Jeff, shortly you should have an amended,
Yes, we're working on that.
you know they are.
Yeah.
All right, good. And my other thing is, you brought up an environmental person, Mike, which it's such a key part of our whole master plan update. I would love to see someone on there. We do have an environmental advisory committee. It's one of my committees that has 15 people on there. They live in the community. They have a good understanding of environmental issues. And also Joyce Novak from the Peconic Estuary has also reached out to me, which I brought up before, and she certainly would be willing to help with our master plan update. She worked closely with Southold as well.
I submitted a name to the supervisor's office this morning and also to Jefferson of a local expert who I think is way more than qualified. I don't know if he'd be willing to do it. I have not reached out to him, but I think everybody would be very satisfied if he came on board, so.
That's a decision that myself and Jeff will make.
Yep.
There are a lot of names, and thank you for putting the name forward. There are a lot of people, and we will be making some sort of decision on that.
Okay. Good afternoon. Just like to address some of Mike's questions. Good afternoon, Mike. I know you're still listening. Mike and I have been communicating via email back and forth for the last few weeks. First and foremost, I'm just taking some of his comments and questions out of line. In terms of environmental expert, we do have one person representing the Environmental Committee, Chuck Thomas. He is a local resident. He's on our Conservation Advisory Committee regarding wetlands. So we are, it's not due to a lack of having expertise or participation in that regard, but adding as another person is certainly not a bad idea. With regard to the public survey, we sent it out to for a test run over the last 2 weeks. Just when we sent it out, we thought we had it pretty well nailed down. As with all tests, it's sort of like when the NASA sends off the moon rocket without the astronaut in the rocket and it blows up. You're kind of thankful that there was nobody inside. So we were thankful we did not go live with it without doing the test run first. We encountered some both technical glitches and question glitches. For example, I do not reside in Riverhead. I do not have any children in Riverhead School District, but I had to answer a question that I did in order to answer to continue with the questionnaire. So it didn't capture all the audience in the town. So that happened on a couple of questions that we had to fix. So it was good that we did the test run. So that's the reason why it's been delayed. It's now ready to go live. But before we go live with it, we're currently revamping the town website in its entirety as we speak. I have a meeting with the consultants tomorrow afternoon to update that. They're sending me stuff on a daily basis now. And we're completely overhauling the town website with a new schedule. And then when we go live with that, we're going to release the public survey at the same time. I don't want to release the public survey, then do the timeline, then a new website. I like to do them all together, so it's kind of a new launch. The next item, right now the CAC meeting is on hiatus. Right now, we're proceeding to go to the next phase, which is the one that we've all been waiting for, meeting with the community. We have target dates for them. But first and foremost, we want to get the updated to the website and launch the community survey first. One of the things that the public is not aware of is that we're coming up with interactive maps for each of the hamlets. That's really going to be a cool function. So people, instead of coming to a community meeting live and you post what you like about your community on a poster board, what you don't like, or what your comments are, you can do it live via the website. So that's going to be a really cool interactive function. And we're going to leave that on the website for about 2 months. So we want to give people time to really have time to interact virtually. With regard to the length of the contract, yes, we're well aware of that. One of the things that was causing us a delay in going out with the community, we heard this from Sid, was that when we got to the community, they wanted the summer population captured as well. They're an important part of our community. We don't want to exclude them. I've been told that they start arriving in May. I don't know if we want to wait that long. We may start at the end of April. or the beginning of May, but we want to capture that population group and we don't want to exclude them. So that's one reason why we're kind of pushing the date out a little bit. So that's where we are today.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. Moving
Jeff-
along.
Jeff, have they interviewed all of the people on the committee yet?
There might be one or two left, but for the most part, we're done with that. And that's one of the things that I think is important with the website. Nobody knows where we are publicly in terms of the accomplishments of the consultants. They completed that phase. I've asked for a summary of all those interviews. They're preparing that now. All the work that they've been doing, for example, they've given me a draft population projections. That's obviously going to change when we get the new census data. But right now, I've gotten a 10-page report on what the population projections are for the next 10, 15, 20 years. It's a draft document this time, but you as a board and the community don't know that that work has already been started and well underway. We have a draft marketing analysis for the town. We've got the input from all the CAC members, the experts like Brian DeLuca, Ike Israel, and a bunch of other of our local business community members to review it. Mish Pally reviewed it. Andy Mitchell reviewed it. We've got some really good comments, so that is well underway. There's a lot of things that are going on that the public's not aware of, and we need to get that onto the website.
I would like the liaison to be aware of it too. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And Sid Bale is a great selection there for the committee, and I'm
Yes.
sure that everyone can find him at Duck Pond Day in Wading River
Oh,
to
yeah.
share their thoughts on August 8th.
He might be in the water this year.
So, he's always great, so.
Thank you for the update, and if you can give us some periodic updates.
Absolutely.
As things happen, if you can make it part, so we can go to the town board meeting when anything substantial happens. And of
Yep.
course, everything's on the website, and I look forward to seeing that new schedule that you have.
Perfect.
And show it to me before it goes out. But it seems like they've done a lot of work.
They've done a lot of work, it's
Yeah.
just that the public's not aware of it yet.
Yep, and unfortunately, because of the website and COVID and all that, but they're moving along, and what's the day you think, about when it will be completed, a year from now, or?
I would say
14
a year
months?
from now.
About a year?
Yeah.
It's not that far away.
Time goes fast.
Oh, yeah, yes, so, good.
I will say that behind the scenes, Jeff has been working extremely hard on this.
Yes.
Much of his day and time is taken up with doing this, and I appreciate that, Jeff.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. All right, moving forward, Devin, do we have anyone else on
We
Zoom?
do. Okay, so next we'll bring up Vince Taldone.
Sure. Uh-oh.
Hopefully I'll have a full-time job by then, but we'll see.
Hi, Vince.
Hi,
Hi,
Vince. How are
thank you.
you?
Good afternoon, supervisor, members of the board. My name is Vince Taldone. I'm the president of the Flanders Riverside and Northampton Community Association. As some of you know who go back many years with me, I was a resident of downtown Riverhead, serving the town in every way I could possibly, from planting trees on Roanoke Avenue to representing the town on the County Planning Commission. I served as a member of your Landmarks Board, as well as a longtime member of the Handicapped Advisory Committee. Town board members like Jim Wooten, Jody Giglio, Sean Walter, they all know me, working many years in a nonpartisan fashion to improve our downtown community, the life we have in our downtown. I currently live on Flanders Boulevard over in Flanders and have been working for the last decade or so on the Riverside Revitalization Plan. The adopted plan, known as the Riverside Revitalization Action Plan, is a very detailed, form-based overlay district and an action in terms of the policies we are proposing to live with and live by so that we can create a walkable downtown with an enormous amount of interaction between our sister downtown, or our big sister, downtown Riverhead. It's of no surprise to any of you that most of the people who live in Flanders, Riverside, and Northampton consider downtown Riverhead as our downtown. It's where we go for dinner, for shows, for fun. We shop in Riverhead. We go to our doctors in Riverhead. I have worked, just quickly, other projects which you're about to see come to fruition. Worked for many years in cooperation with your staff, in particular, more recently with Dawn Thomas, to try and get as much grant money as we can to create a better interconnectivity between the Hamlet Center of Riverside and Riverhead. We've got a Riverside Park moving forward now, finally, after years of work and fundraising. So you'll be seeing the construction bids are due this summer, and we should start seeing a park develop across from downtown Riverhead. We're very excited about that. On the other side of the street, we've gotten grant money and some town contribution for the Riverside entrance to Grandeur Bell Park, which is designed to look as though it's simply another portion of the park, and it connects to an existing footbridge into Grandeur Bell Park, which was always meant to connect people from Riverside into the downtown Riverhead area, and we want them to come and visit us too. So that is the kind of general sense of what the Riverside Revitalization Action Plan is. Walkability, mixed use, storefronts at sidewalk level, interactivity with people, restaurants, and we've even walked, and I'll mention this briefly, years ago we came up with an idea for a pedestrian bridge connecting the aquarium to our new park. And unfortunately, after everyone's needs were accounted for, the cost went over $4 million, and we all ran home with tails between our legs. So, as Dawn, we did. It was very embarrassing. But as Dawn recently said, you know, a little motorized boat to connect the aquarium with the park could probably do everything we need for it to do without a giant piece of infrastructure, and she's absolutely right. Mr. DeLuca over at the aquarium said he couldn't wait to have his kids run across there and then do butterfly releases or listen to poetry readings in our little mini amphitheater. So this is stuff that most of you know, and I know some of you have supported us going back for years. Some of you came to our groundbreaking for the first new building, 20 Riverly Avenue, which is the sort of a perfect building for that location with medical offices that cause very little interaction between cars and the traffic circle, which, as you know, has just been rebuilt. So that brings me to the reason I'm coming to you today. I typically come to Riverhead for support. We do letters of support for each other, for grant applications. We work together because we understand that interactivity is so critical to our success. And on the 25th of March, I went to the Southampton
Mr.
Planning
Taldone,
Board.
just excuse me 1 second. You have 30 seconds left of your 5-minute allotment.
Very good. I'll do the best I can. On the 25th, I went to the Southampton Planning Board with many opponents of a proposed mega gas station with 12 pumps and a 7-Eleven on the Rotary. Clearly the opposite of what anyone would want in a walkable downtown. Much to my surprise, my opponent at this, or the representative of the landlord, was Jeff Murphy, your town planning director. So I just don't understand entirely how it is not a conflict of interest for your staff member to be promoting walkability for you while trying to defeat walkability by working for a developer in the same location.
That's over 5 minutes, Supervisor.
You know, if you'd like to hear a moment more, I'm pretty much finished. I just think that I would, if a bad proposal had come in, I would come running to Town Hall to speak to your planning director and to speak to your community development agency. How do I do that when the planning director of your town is the paid planning expert for the developer proposing what is the opposite of everything we've been working for, is sitting at that desk? I can't do it. So if it's not a conflict of interest, I think you ought to consider making that kind of side job totally unacceptable for someone in such a leadership position. So that we go back to being friends and partners in the redevelopment rather than adversaries.
Okay, so why don't you write a letter to the clerk? It seems like your concerns are lengthy, they're a little complicated, and we can, it'll be forwarded to our building department and we can take it from there. Okay?
So Vince, I was not aware of that, but just in general, I do think that it's important for Riverhead and Southampton to work together as neighboring towns, and the connectivity there is important.
Okay, Supervisor, next we have Ellen Hoyle.
Sure. Okay. Can you bring her forward? Thank you.
Just a reminder to everybody, once again, you'll have 5 minutes to make all your comments today. Ms. Hoyle, can you hear us? Hello, can you hear us?
You have to, Ellen, you have to unmute. There you
Hi,
go.
can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes.
we got you.
Good. I wanted to talk today on two things. The first was Councilwoman Ken had brought up as far as an update in CAT and her concern.
Just for the record, Ellen, it's
for recent
Ellen Hoyle
news
with Riverhead,
regarding,
correct? Ms. Hoyle,
flood.
Ms. Hoyle, we just need your name and your hamlet for the transcriptionist.
Hoyle, yes.
As always, right.
Ellen Hoyle?
Riverhead, right? Yeah, got it.
So anyway, I was called, yes. I was talking today about 555 and the CAT contract. Councilwoman Ken had asked that we be provided an update, and somebody else had suggested that there was some concern about the current state of 555 in the news. And the town attorney's office representative had stated that the contract did a lot for updated financials within 30 days of, she assumed it was 30 days of closing, and then somebody else, I believe Mr. Foley, stated that insinuated that we had lost the opportunity to get out of the contract. So unless the contract has been amended in some way, from what is on the website, we have not lost the opportunity, and we can still back out of the contract at any point. And secondly, I would suggest that somebody read section 23, further assurances under the contract. And it reads, the parties agree to do such other and further acts and things, and to execute and deliver such instruments and documents as either may reasonably request from time to time, whether or at closing or after the closing, in furtherance of the purpose of this agreement. In my interpretation, that says that you can ask for the financials or anything else you want at any point during this contract. You do not have to wait for 30 days before the closing. There is no set time frame. You can ask for updated financials. You could do and ask for anything that is within reason to ask. And I think at this point, based on the news that I've been reading about 555, that is certainly within reason. Second thing I'd like to talk about today is the letter that went to the planning board regarding Nextera. It was my understanding that the supervisor's office sent to the planning board, signed by several members of the town board, a letter directing an interpretation of what the planning board should do regarding Nextera. I do not believe that at any point the town board as a whole voted on that letter. And I think that the sending of the letter and direction to the planning board is inappropriate, as that is an action that has to be voted on by the town board as a whole. And I would suggest that the town board vote on whether or not that letter should be accepted by the planning board, or whether it should have even been sent. And that's my statements as of today. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna add to Nextera. The planning board requested at the second to the last public meeting that they had, that they wanted the town board to send a letter saying that they support the lightning rods, and it was put out to the entire board. Our town attorney created the letter and spoke to the planning board to ensure that it was what they wanted. They requested it. It was put out to the entire board. After 3 members agreed, which is a majority, it was sent to the planning board. So the statements are somewhat misconstrued here, and I hope that this clarified this to you. And if you have any other concerns, you're an attorney also. You're also running for town assessor. You can definitely call the town attorney on that, okay? And he will guide you in that respect.
Well, I'm just gonna add to that with matters of such importance, it doesn't seem appropriate to me. Not even sure it's legal, I don't know, I'm not a lawyer, but I don't like making such important decisions via email. These are the kind of things we should be talking about in a meeting with one another.
I absolutely agree with you, Catherine Kent. I've been trying to have a meeting with you for 1 year.
And
we need to be cohesive, and my office is always open. But email, the town attorney generated the letter, created it, sent it forward, and anybody could have spoken, and I actually had questions on it. Again, this was the planning board requested a letter from the town board, and the letter was generated by the town attorney, sent by the town attorney, and those members who are individual, each board member had a choice whether they wanted to sign the letter and be in agreement, and those who didn't, we have to respect everybody's opinions. That's why we're a council. We should all be working together as 5 individuals, and we're not always going to agree on every issue, but in this particular case, it was a direct request at an open meeting by the planning board, and we complied with what their request was.
Okay, so just to go back a little bit, yes, as a matter of respect, and the facts matter. So what you just stated is that you've been attempting to meet with me for a year. I actually have met with you on several occasions, and unfortunately, those meetings turned out to actually attempting to reprimand me for things I've said on the radio, and telling me that your campaign people had them taped. So those I didn't find to be productive meetings. Now, in the recent month, on 3 different occasions, you have let me know times where you would be there that were appropriate to meet, and I have come up here 2 times. I came up, let your staff know I was there to meet, and waited only to find out the next day that you weren't in the building. And the 3rd time, I waited an hour and 15 minutes.
That's not
So
true.
certainly, it's always good for people to meet, and I'm willing to meet as long as we have productive meetings, and let's just stick to the facts.
I
please.
agree with you. Every meeting should be productive, and if we don't agree on issues, it's fine, but they should not be antagonistic or accusatory, and I'm in total agreement with you, Catherine. Thank
Good.
you.
Well, the fact that this letter was generated should have been done at a work session with the entire board having a conversation with it, rather than going back and forth, either between emails, which I didn't get. I did get a phone call from the town attorney's office stating that this letter was going to be written, and I explained to him if it's written as is, and I did see a copy of it after it
Okay.
was written, that I didn't agree with it and I wouldn't sign it, because I thought maybe it needed to be, the whole NextEra project needed to be looked at again, because I thought it had significant change to it, and that was my opinion. And I understand your 3 opinions, and I understand Catherine's opinion. But just for the record, I want to be clear, that's what happened. And I think it's something that would have been better served if we dealt with it right here at a work session. I think that's really what should have happened. Instead of doing it back and forth, phone calls, emails, and everything else, put it on for a work session, and we'll have an open discussion about it. That's all.
Well, first of all, we all know that sometimes in text messages, a message gets lost in text messages and emails. I mean, we just know that from personal, but I'd also like a legal opinion, perhaps this week, as to the legality of, making decisions and voting via email as a group, because I'm really not comfortable with that. Thank you.
Okay, so, Anne Marie, could you come forward about, talking about just getting, agreeing on a letter going out that was requested, the legality of it? Catherine can raise the legality component of it, and we might as well clear the air right now, see where we stand.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think you're going to be pleased with my response. But,
Go a little close, it's hard to hear you.
sorry, it's the mask. I don't think you're going to be pleased with my response, because what I'm going to request is, I like to do my investigation and know the facts. I also want to speak to my boss, who I've learned generated the letter.
He did.
So with all due respect, I'll answer, I'll give legal opinions on anything you want. I just really owe it to you and myself and my boss to actually know the facts, do the research, and I'll gladly do that.
That's understandable.
You know, I mean,
Yeah,
the
and
only
I-
thing I can say is, I know my boss. I know from what I've just heard that I believe he communicated with the members of the town board.
He did.
Councilman Hubbard just talked about a telephone conversation. It would be highly unlike Bob ever to not undertake measures to communicate with all of you on any matter. So,
I'm not suggesting that he did.
no,
by
I know
any
you're
means.
not at all.
And I'm not suggesting there was any illegality to anything that took place. What I'm suggesting is that in that, and I hate this word, but in the support of transparency, it should be done in an open forum. That's all. That's my only comment. I'm not.
No,
you
I
know,
understand that.
And I'm fine with waiting. I wasn't actually asking for it today. I know that you like to do, I know how much you like to do your research and make sure
Right.
you're always factual. So I'm fine with waiting on that. I don't believe I don't recall any phone call from Bob on that day, but I did receive the email.
Okay. And what I'm actually gleaming from the town board, and in particular from Councilman Hubbard's comments, is perhaps refocusing on the research on what is the best policy and protocol for this town board, even if it's moving forward.
Sure.
And that, I have to be quite candid with you. Bob and I have done research on those issues
In the past?
in the recent past because things came up regarding when we went to Zoom and procedure and protocol. So I would be more than happy to work on that with Bob and discuss it with him.
Yeah, and I have asked about this a few times because I haven't been comfortable with it all year. I think I got somewhat of a legal opinion from Bob last year, but it's been a while, and I really would like to know because there is a lot of back and forth in emails, and it just, it should be done in a public forum or in a meeting, and I would just like to know where we stand on that. Thank you.
Yeah, and you're absolutely correct. The world has changed in the past year.
That's right.
And before COVID, you were not conducting your meetings via Zoom. You were not having people appear telephonically. It's a new world, and it's a new world of law as a result of COVID as well. So,
I miss the old world.
Tim, did you communicate that to the town attorney that you thought it should be brought before work session?
No, I indicated to him that I wasn't going to sign the letter.
But, okay, so, yeah, it would have been great if that was the way, to possibly, and, everybody can speak to each other. After you get a conversation like that, we can all speak to each other. Okay, great, thank you.
I have to say, I take a lot of guidance from the town attorney, and I thought the letter was just a need to answer questions for the planning board, just to keep things on track. So I agreed with it.
Okay, and
Okay.
it's just a simple request saying, send us a letter from the board. And wherever we stood, we sent it, so we're gonna move forward in this regard. And Devin, do we have any?
We do.
other-
We have Kelly McClinchy.
Okay. Kelly from Manorville. Hi, Helen.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, Kelly.
Okay, very
Kelly.
good. I'm Kelly McClinchy from Manorville. I
Yes.
appreciate the opportunity to speak today.
Okay.
I have a question and a comment, actually. On January 20th, 2021, the board approved a resolution for a map and plan to be completed for the homes east of the former Navy property. Can you tell me if that plan has been completed, and if so, when it will be presented to the community? That's my question. And I do want to preface my comments moving forward in saying that I do understand that the five of you collectively as a group deal with many issues and, have to wear a whole lot of hats, and there's a lot going on in town. But I do have to comment on a few things. Today at the meeting, the community has heard a lot of talk about parking lots and sidewalks and wanting to hear from the people, wanting to know the will of the people when it comes to beach usage. Also, recently in Riverhead Local and Riverhead News Review, there was a articles related to the town square project, stating that $612,000 from water quality funding was going to be used for that project. While I understand that's an allowable use, when the community hears water quality funding and there's a certainty that there's an issue with water quality in the town, it concerns me that that money would be allotted to that project and not to where it really needs to be. I do have to say that there are two water issue components happening here. The first is Manorville, and I understand that when my comment period is over, you're probably going to say, there's a whole lot of people involved, and I do understand that. The Manorville situation has a whole lot of facets to it, and it needs some time to work out. I wish it wasn't like that. I wish that, that we would get the call and we would get the funding and get the water that we need. However, the other issue here is those homes east of EPCAL. And that project would, using some common sense, be a whole lot less extensive than the Manorville project. So I do want to just finish up by saying that as a town board, you know very clearly that there are over 70 families in Riverhead Town that are drinking contaminated water. You all know that very clearly. I don't think that anybody can disregard that fact. But I do have to point out to you that as a unified board, the Manorville community and that small section of Calverton that has private well water, they don't hear anything from you on a regular basis. You don't reach out to us. You're sending a clear message to the community that you don't prioritize the will of the people or the health and the safety of the people of this town when it comes to clean drinking water. I'm urging you to push that map and plan along for those homes to the east, and as soon as it's finished, to act on it immediately, find the funding however you need to find it, and extend that water to those homes. I understand, like I said, Manorville is multifaceted, but Calverton is an easier extension, and it needs to be done by the town very quickly, and then reimbursement needs to be sought later by the Navy.
So
Thank you.
Kelly, thank you for addressing us today, and I am sorry that your community feels that way. It is of great concern. We are, as a board, concerned about your water. I did actually speak with Anne Marie the other day about the issues that you brought up, and if she would just relay, I did ask about you brought up the issue that the money from a grant from water, I think, was being, yeah, well, I did bring that up to you, and you explained it to me. Anne Marie, would you explain that at the mic?
We're also pursuing in Washington, so can you talk about the effort with Councilman Roswell and myself?
First, Ms. McClinchy, I hope you received the documentation through the FOIL request from our water superintendent, Frank Mancini. He forwarded your FOIL request to me for review, and I believe in less than 24 hours you received the document you were seeking. With respect to the map and plans, to the best of my knowledge, both map and plans were completed, and there are cost estimates for both projects. The town board actually steadily drove that train and made sure that those were timely completed. The town board, as a unified town board, has in fact been advocating on behalf of all the residents that are at risk of contamination, whether or not it's demonstrated today, the potential for future contamination based upon the way in which water moves underground and the way in which the contamination can potentially move. The town board, again, as a unified town board, has prepared correspondence, sent correspondence, and communicated with Congressman Lee Zeldin. In addition, the town board has prepared a very, very detailed report and statement that is intended for the United States Navy. And I believe that the town board has every intention of moving that forward at a time deemed appropriate, and when the town board is satisfied that they've addressed all the correct individuals and they have all the correct information. So, you know, I apologize as an employee of the town if anyone feels uninformed and they lack the knowledge what this town board is actually doing on their behalf. And, you know, Councilwoman Kent raised the point earlier about it maybe being more informative to the community, and perhaps this is one of those avenues. With respect to the 12.5D money, that 12.5D money is labeled Old Drinking Water Protection Money. That 12.5D, if you research the legislation going back in the county charter, that money could have been used for a landfill. There are numerous projects. While it was labeled Old Drinking Water Protection Money, it wasn't necessarily earmarked for drinking water. And I'd be happy to provide that early legislation. And so the goal, though, with respect, well, let me just say, the town appeared before Suffolk County Parks Trustees Committee and presented the Town Square project to them. And they approved it for that funding source. And the goal is, and one of the benefits of the Town Square project is, we're creating open space. We are eliminating potential stormwater runoff that runs directly into the Peconic River. The comprehensive management plan for the Peconic River actually talks and earmarks goals consistent with creating a green space proximate to the Peconic River. So, that's all.
And thank you, Anne Marie, and I think I understand why Kelly and her community feel that way, and I think it would be good if we could update them regularly, as you
Absolutely.
suggested, just because it's a matter of health, and that should be a priority for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Devin. Is there anyone else in the waiting room?
Yes, next we have Ron Hariri. Oh, okay, disregard, he's left the meeting room. So then we have Craig. We'll bring Craig forward. Craig, if you could state your full name and your hamlet, please, and of course you'll have 5 minutes to make your comments today.
Hello.
Hello, good afternoon. Hi. Greg, what's
Hello,
your...
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Hello, my name is Craig Dahlgren from Calverton. I would like to speak about the water issue too, actually, the same one that Kelly just made some comments about. Approximately 2 months ago, the town board may have received a petition for public water in that area east of Grumman from Edwards Avenue, basically to Grumman, that community there. That was a petition that I put together because everything that I was seeing in regards to the water issues in the area stemming from Grumman only mentioned Manorville. They kept mentioning, every news article I saw on the websites was Manorville. And of course, you know, they do have the issue, and that needs to get taken care of. But being a resident of my area, I definitely felt forgotten about. I was unaware of any of the work that you folks were doing there, and it sounds like you've done some work, and for that I'm appreciative. But so that's why I went and started that petition for the Calverton area. I went to all of the homes in my area, which is right around 20 homes, maybe just over 20 homes, and everyone that I spoke to is concerned about the water in the area and is ready to be connected and start paying a water bill to a public source. This PFAS thing is not something that we knew. I moved into the area about 9 years ago. This was not something I knew about. I paid and had my water tested before I purchased my home, and everything came back good. And now we have this chemical in the water that shouldn't be there, that causes whatever it causes. We can only buy so much bottled water. We can't shower in bottled water. We can't water our vegetables that we eat in bottled water. And this PFAS is one component that we know about now. And as a community over there, we're also looking forward, and we're worried about what could come down the pipe. What's the next chemical or contamination that pops up in our water as a result of what took place at Grumman? I understand that you're trying to get funding, and of course the funding is always what's going to hold things up. But I strongly feel this has to happen sooner than later, so that we're not, drinking this water, showering with this water, and using this water. And let us connect, let us start paying a bill towards it and seek the reimbursement from the Navy, when that's possible. This isn't a luxury, it's something that we need. We need water, and we need clean water. We're not a third world nation here. And the people of Manorville, I understand that it's more complex over there, but something's got to get done over there. Something's got to get done for all of us. We're not going to forget about it. We do appreciate the work that you've done so far with the plans and the map. And we're ready. We're ready to connect. Everyone I spoke to in my little area there, like I said, roughly 20 homes, everyone is ready to connect, and everybody is ready to start paying the town for our water. Thank you.
Thank you, Craig.
Thank you, Craig.
Okay, Supervisor, we have Toki Turkun.
Okay.
Taki Turchun. I'll get it. One of these days I'll get it.
Okay.
Hi there, can you hear us?
Hi there.
Hi, Talkley.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Hello there. I'm Takwi Turchin. It's Takwi Turchin for those who are still interested. And good day to the entire board, supervisor. Thanks very much for the chance to talk. I will be brief. I'm talking today on water in Calverton, and I'm very thankful that Craig Dahlgren and Kelly McClinchy have been able to speak before me. So I won't repeat the concerns that they brought up in the same way, but I will be making a mark here just briefly. Since this press conference held at Kelly McClinchy's home 2 months ago, I was curious as to what the update is on the plan for getting water to the 60 residents in Manorville. More importantly, how much longer will they need to wait? And I hear there's a map and plan. I'd like that maybe to go up on the website if possible, please, so that anyone looking for it can go to the website and see it rather than waiting to FOIL for it. And then additionally, and it is a bit of a repeat, what is the status of the health of the private wells of homes in Calverton, east of the Grumman property, along River Road to Edwards Avenue? And I think Craig spoke to that. There's somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 folks there. Just want to let you know that there are more folks that are concerned about this than could show up today. It's in the middle of a business day. I'm actually very surprised that Kelly was able to get in today. I know her work schedule conflicted with this 2 p.m. meeting. I'm looking forward to 6 p.m. meetings if that can be possible. Thank you very much for your time.
Yep, it's gonna happen soon.
Okay, Supervisor, that's it. No one else in the room.
Okay. And Anne Marie, isn't the map and plan on the website? We did release it when it came in. It was made available to the public.
Your mic doesn't work over there?
I don't know, but she had me come up here.
Yeah, okay, so you didn't have to.
You're getting your
I could
exercise.
use the exercise.
That's why you're so
I could
slim.
have an exercise pizza.
We did release the map and plan.
Absolutely. As a
Yes.
matter of fact, Councilman Bayrod will recall, and the supervisor will recall, that during a telephone conference with Adrian Esposito, it was a very large group of people. I don't know how many, 20, 30 people were on the conference call.
Yes.
They requested, and the supervisor represented, that you would provide her with the map and plan so she could share it with each and every member. I actually, coincidentally, just look, that email was back in January, and you did in fact provide it to her. Hence, my comment to Ms. McClinchy, because I was surprised that Frank Mancini received a FOIL request from her when she participated in that meeting, heard the representation, you in fact provided it, I think it was 24 hours later. So apparently it perhaps has not been distributed, and if you'd like, we could post it, but, you know, all those, Councilman Bayrod will, but there were a lot of people on that call.
Yeah.
And it was immediately provided to them, and whatever's going on, we'll
Right.
just send it out again?
Right, but if you want it posted online, we could arrange to have it posted online. It's not an issue,
Absolutely. Yes.
you know.
I see no reason not to have it on there. It sounds
Yep.
good. Thank you.
Okay. I think that's it for online. We're done? Any other questions? Thank you, Anne Marie. We've had a busy day today.
I earned it, Bob.
Everyone, be safe. This concludes our meeting today. Can I have a first and a second to close the town board meeting for today?
So can I just say that I just want to make sure that general public is aware that getting public water to Calverton and Manorville is a major, major priority. And I have worked alongside with the supervisor, with our town attorney, with Anne Marie. We do have plans in place. We're pursuing every option. There are so many entities involved in getting water, but it is a priority, and we're taking it very seriously to put all of our efforts into it, and we won't stop till they get clean drinking water there. Thank you.
Great, thank you. First and second to close this town board meeting, please.
So moved.
I want to keep it open.
All opposed, all in favor, so
Aye.
moved, and everyone again, be safe, enjoy the wonderful weather we're experiencing.